So you are scrolling through your favorite shopping app and you see those shoes. You know the ones. They are a bit out of your budget, but then you see it. The magical little button that says you can pay in 4 easy installments of $25. Suddenly those $100 sneakers feel like the price of a decent lunch. You click buy and you feel like a financial genius. You got the goods and your bank account barely felt a dent. But here is the thing. That tiny little button is part of a massive psychological trap designed specifically to hunt Gen Z. We are living in the golden age of the buy now, pay later era, and it is quietly destroying the wealth of an entire generation before they even have a chance to build it. Welcome to the world of phantom debt. It is not like a scary credit card with a high interest rate that your parents warned you about. It is much more subtle. It is friendly. It uses pastel colors and cute emojis. It tells you that you deserve this treat today, and you can figure out the rest later. But later has a habit of showing up much faster than we expect. The problem is that many people do not even view this as debt anymore. In our minds, we have reframed it as a payment method like using a debit card or cash. But the reality is that every time you use one of these apps, you are taking out a microloan, and while one $25 payment is easy to manage, what happens when you have 5 of them? Or 10? Suddenly you have $250 leaving your account every 2 weeks before you even buy groceries. The psychology here is fascinating and honestly a little bit evil. These apps rely on something called present bias. That is just a fancy way of saying our brains are hardwired to want things right now, and we are terrible at calculating the pain of paying for them in the future. When you see the full price of an item, your brain registers a tiny bit of actual physical pain. It is called the pain of paying. BNPL apps are designed to numb that pain. By breaking the price into 4 pieces, they trick your brain into thinking the item is cheaper than it actually is. You are not spending $100. You are spending $25. Your brain gives you the green light, and the dopamine hit from the purchase happens instantly. The apps also love to use social pressure and algorithmic pushes. Have you noticed how your feed is suddenly full of personal finance coaching and accounts maxing content? There is a reason for that. The algorithms know we are stressed about money. They see us searching for ways to build wealth or save for a house. Then they serve us ads for apps that promise to help us manage our cash flow by spreading out payments. It is a loop where the solution to our money stress is actually the thing causing the stress in the first place. It is like trying to put out a fire with a squirt gun filled with gasoline. Another huge issue is the lack of transparency. With a traditional credit card, you get a statement. You see the total balance. You see the interest. It is scary, but it is clear. With BNPL, the debt is fragmented. It is spread across 3 different apps and 12 different purchases. This makes it almost impossible to track your total debt load without a spreadsheet. This is what experts call the decoupling of consumption and payment. You get the joy of the item today, but the cost is hidden in a series of future transactions that feel disconnected from the original purchase. And let us talk about the defaults. People think that because there is no traditional interest rate, there is no risk. But the late fees on these apps can be massive relative to the loan size. If you miss a payment on a $20 shirt and get hit with a $10 late fee, you just paid a 50% interest rate. Plus, more of these companies are starting to report to credit bureaus. That means a missed payment on a pair of jeans could actually tank your credit score and make it impossible for you to get a car loan or an apartment 3 years from now. It is a high price to pay for a trend that will be over by next month. Your future self is already broke because your past self wanted a new outfit for a Saturday night out. So how do we fix this? How do we rebuild if we are already in the trap? The first step is the most painful one. You have to face the music. You need to open every single app and write down every single upcoming payment. Add them all up, seeing that the total number is going to hurt, but it is the only way to break the spell. Once you see that you owe $600 in micro debts, it becomes a lot harder to justify that next installment. Next, you need to delete the apps. Do not just move them to a folder on the last page of your phone. Delete them. Remove your card info from the autofill settings in your browser. You want to make it as hard as possible to spend money. We want to bring the pain of paying back into the equation. If you have to manually type in your 16-digit card number every time you want to buy something, you are much more likely to stop and ask if you need it. If your credit score has already taken a hit, do not panic. It is fixable, but it takes time. Start by automating your remaining payments so you never miss another one. Payment history is the biggest factor in your credit score. Then look into a secured credit card if you need to rebuild. These require a deposit that acts as your limit. It is like training wheels for your finances. It helps you build a positive history without the risk of falling into a deep hole of debt. You also need to change how you think about treats. We have been conditioned to think that buying something is the ultimate form of self-care. But true self-care is having $1,000 in a savings account. It is knowing you will not have a heart attack when your car makes a weird noise. That peace of mind is worth way more than any viral skincare product or fast fashion haul. Try the 72-hour rule. If you see something you want, wait 3 full days before buying it. Most of the time, that urgent need will completely disappear. The goal here is not to live a boring life where you never buy anything fun. The goal is to be in control. Wealth is not about how much stuff you have. It is about how much freedom you have. When you owe money to 4 different apps for things you do not even remember buying, you are not free. It is not going to be easy, and the apps will keep trying to lure you back in with 0% interest offers and limited time deals. Stay strong. Your future self will thank you when they are buying a house. Meanwhile, everyone else is still paying off their 2024 wardrobe. If you found this helpful and you want more straight talk about money without the boring lecture, hit that subscribe button. Also, drop a comment below and let me know. Have you ever felt trapped by these apps?